Hello, everybody, and welcome to All Goes Back to Sonic. My name is Harvek, your unusual introduction voice. With me, I've got some amazing friends. To my left is Dorgo for You. To my other left is Bob Hood. And to my other left is MegaFire, who will take over from here.
That's right. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of It All Goes Back to Sonic. I'm excited because we finally reached Sonic Adventure. I have certain feelings about this arc, which I'm interested to hear what my co-hosts feel, because it might be a little contrary to my usual feelings, where I feel like when I read this, I kind of didn't really change, whereas the rest of this podcast, I've been relearning that I've actually kind of hated a lot of things. So yeah, I'm not gonna take up too much time to sort of. I'm curious to hear what people think. So I think we should just jump into it, starting with Sonic the Hedgehog issue 79.
All right, I'm Bob, by the way. I don't think I've said anything since we started. So 79. When trying to tap into Eggman's telecommunications, Sonic and Nate Morgan believe the city of the Ancients is located. Sonic has orders from King Acorn to depart the next morning. That day, the prince... I actually had to reread this real quick because I actually missed an important detail here. That Prince Elias has a plan to use the power ring that they're storing away to make a wish to fix Mom. To fix the Queen, but Amy has already used it up. Then we have a Knuckles side story where blah blah. I expect a lot of boring exposition because the first thing I saw was Knuckles, but it's actually just Chaos going after the Master Emerald as part of the big adventure tie-in. Chaos absorbs it and get away, and without the Emerald, the island is sent falling into the ocean. Knuckles wakes up to find out this was all a dream, but as it turns out, the part where the island fell down actually did happen, so Knuckles goes flying to his dad for answers. We get a flashback to Eggman babbling about Chaos. He smashes a black emerald to get him out, but while he expected to immediately get control of perfect Chaos, the beast just emerges in a much weaker state, like a little puddle, like a big drip. Eggman needs the emerald, so he invades the floating island. He makes his way to the emerald, but rather than just taking the whole thing, he blows it up just to take as many pieces as he needs. He leaves, and with the emerald broken, a certain figure emerges. And we get what I think is like the last of the big war flashback. So they're at a campfire, and we get the flashback. Chuck is sad because his brother be robot. Brother left cube. Life good. Wife fight back. Roboticized wife. And then Chuck almost found out what happened, but Robotnik lied and said that she messed around and fell into the roboticizer. Chuck is now tasked with raising Sonic, believing that their roboticized status was his fault. Regret. The story continues as we see at a later time. Robot Chuck hands Robot Dad a power ring to help wake him up. So Robot Dad immediately raises concerns about Sonic, who Chuck says he's become the hero we know and love. He then reunites with his wife Bernie. And then the campfire story ends with the two deciding not to tell Sonic what became of his parents right away. That's 79.
Yeah, so we're pondering the orb this episode.
Yeah, I thought I had to go back because I thought it was a crystal ball, but I missed like a whole plot point that they're trying to use it to make a wish.
Because
and then she fucked it up.
Because it's literally like on the... Okay, so the cover, first off, I'll post this because like it's a crystal in the cover, first off, and then the second time that we see it with the pondering orb, it's like a green orb. So it is pretty like... I don't know, it's weird. I'm like, huh. All right, like it's anything but ring. Like, so it's fair that you got confused, to be completely honest.
It's kind of my fault for skimming though. So
I mean, I guess, but I mean, even I was confused because in my head I was convinced she absorbed an emerald, but then as you were doing a summary, you said the power ring, and I was like, wait, no, that's right. Why did I think it was an emerald? And then I looked back at the cover, and I was like, oh, because it was an emerald on the cover. Which is, that ain't it. I think it's funny that in like the third, like a few pages in, when Sonic wakes up, they just reintroduce the whole cast by their full names for breakfast, and I'm like, okay. And, hey, Sonic, did you forget about your friends Amy Rose, Bunny Rabbit, Princess Sally Acorn? Like, what? I'm like, who's starting this comic? At this point. I guess it's not that uncommon.
I think there might actually be potentially a lot of kids or Sonic fans that saw Sonic Adventure tie-in on the cover and like, let me dive in.
You know what? Valid.
Yeah.
Completely valid thought process. The City of the Ancients from Final Fantasy VII, is that what it is? Because that's literally the name in 7, right? Like the Lost City of the Ancients.
Something like
I don't
that.
remember.
Yeah, like I think verbatim. And the next time that's used is Final Fantasy 14. I think that's maybe it's a reference. Maybe I'm reaching.
I forgot to even look if this is called Station Square
Might be a bit of a reach.
at any point.
Yeah, but like they never call it that again. After, like, because they just established it as Station Square. So I feel like, I don't know. Maybe I am reaching, but
It's like Angel Island being called Floating Island.
Exactly. Oh, this series of comics drove me insane. They are just using buzzword salad. They keep changing the names of like Power Emerald, Chaos Emerald, Master Emerald. They just keep swapping
Super
around.
Emerald
Nobody has
even.
any Super Emerald even. I
was getting confused because I thought they kept substituting Chaos Emerald and Master Emerald whenever Chaos shows up. It's just, like,
No,
which
it's called
one's
Power.
By the time we get to like the special, the big one is the Master Emerald, and then the little ones are Chaos Emerald.
See, the thing is,
But then they change it in that too.
Yeah, they do.
Tails calls. I know we're jumping ahead, but this is important. Tails calls it the Power Emerald when they take off on the tornado, and then Eggman calls it the Tails calls it the Super Emerald. Eggman calls it the Power Emerald, I believe. And I'm like, why is this happening? Why are they... This is like a series of the same arc. Why is it happening in the same arc? I get it happening from like, here's an issue from like 2 years ago and now, but like, this is the span of a couple months.
The characters don't even know
Real-
what it's called. They don't know what they're talking about.
To the viewers at home, by the way, at this point, they do start calling him Eggman again.
That's right, yeah. So it's interchangeable between Robotnik and Eggman.
Yeah, but I think at this point, it looks like only Sonic's calling him Eggman.
Yeah, because as like a jab, because he looks like an egg.
It could also with these, there might be a slight side effect of like there's so much dialogue that's just from Sonic Adventure. Like they just threw in so many Sonic Adventure
All right,
lines.
I thought these lines were like directly from it. They sounded like they were directly.
Yeah, so many
from
of them are.
Because when I saw, it's not in this one, but a future issue, Eggman goes, "Oh, there it is, right there," and I'm like, "Oh, wait a minute, that's just straight from the game."
That's straight up from the game. Even in this issue, the very beginning with Knuckles is just his spiel with some things changed because they wouldn't make sense in this context, where he's not the last of his kind. He doesn't know why he has to do the thing. So that little, it was altered, but it's also from the game.
Since it's relevant, this does remind me how I've read about how, unfortunately, the writers didn't get a copy of the game to write any of this. Like, they had to, like, 'cause one of them had to, like, go get, like, a Japanese copy of the game and try and figure things out. Like, there was no assistance from Sega on that front.
Yeah, that's a good. Thanks for pointing that out, because if you remember way back, many issues ago, that point came up in one of our, I want to say like in our like first like 10 episodes. I mentioned, I think it was a Sonic Spinball or one of the other game crossovers where that occurred. That similar occurrence happened even then. I knew about it. Like, I feel like as a group, many of us probably knew about the fact that this had happened with this one, because this is like a very famous instance of it happening. I didn't know that it was like a continuous issue, like retroactively, not just going forward. I don't actually know going forward if that was the case, but this was a famous instance of like a fairly modern instance of it happening, 1999.
And I guess for clarification's sake, where it's like, well, I think they like retroactively like edited dialogue to put lines in from the English version of the game. I believe. I mean, that must be what happened. Like, if
it might be true. You're right. Yeah. I wanted to just with this issue or this page that I posted. I really like the art. I like this artist a lot. I keep forgetting who it is, but I just love their art so much. I think it's I always forget his first name is Fry. Somebody Fry. Stephen Fry? James Fry. Also, this is 2000, not 1999. My bad. Well, it's in the cusp. It's February 2000. This issue was posted or published. I just really I like it. I like the like little group of fawning fans who for some reason look really human, looking after Elias as he runs across the bridge to him popping open the door and the lights. The effect of Amy, like, getting the power infused into her with like the single other thing in the frame kind of highlighted, which is the sword of Acorn. I really like the art. I like the artists. I think that they do a great job. Definitely have come far. I mean, like, even some of the close-ups of like, I remember we posted, I for sure have posted like close-ups of like, Nate Morgan, and they looked kind of unfortunate, and he's still getting his he's fine tuning, but I think they're a lot better, and I do like a lot of the art in it. Still has some freaky stuff happening with the eyes, but I feel like that's like a Sonic problem for a long time, not just with this artist. People trying to like be unique with how they draw the characters, but sometimes to the detriment. Trying to emote, I guess, the character faces. I don't know. Like, I don't have any strong feelings on this one. I do think it's kind of funny, like, that they called it the Dark Island in Knuckles' spiel. I've been living here on this dark island, and it's bolded. And again, it's just like, why did you replace that one? Like, you could have just called it on this floating island. Because that doesn't make any sense.
No, there's like a secret second island. It's like the Shadow Island that he found himself into.
Then, Mysterious Cat Country. We're introduced to another place in the world where apparently Eggman found the crystal, which Chaos is... Let me be clear. The crystal that Chaos is in, which is a black emerald... It's located in the Mysterious Cat Country. And when he said that, I just couldn't help but chuckle because, like, it kind of made me think of, like, Donkey Kong. I'm like, why does this just sound like a Donkey Kong place? Robotnik attacks the floating island, and I like the line where he says, what does it matter? It'll cost us a few nobodies, and he's talking about all the Echidna on the island. And I'm like, damn, this is how they could have killed all the useless Echidna OCs in just one fell swoop, but oh well, I guess not. And I wrote in my notes, can't believe that Knuckles and all 20 of his grandpas were napping and letting Eggman just take the emerald.
The one time Knuckles' dad's like, I will shut off the computer for once.
And it's especially painful because in the next issue, it's just like, oh, you guys still haven't done anything? Cool. The Guardians of the Year.
Yeah,
these are the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Sad it is for the Echidna Brotherhood. Eggman just strolls on through.
He it just confounds me. I also have a note here that just says "Lol Mammoth, your favorite," and I don't remember who I said that towards because I didn't put a name next to it. But I just thought it was
almost
funny.
forgot about that. That was definitely like, oh, don't remind me of this.
It's even funnier because all you get in the dialogue with this character, like, because Eggman broke the Master Emerald, and you just see like a little manlet version of Mammoth Mogul appear, and all he has is free. I'm like, okay, that's so like I get like why they did it, but like maybe you could have put that in a different issue, like as a I don't know flashback. It just feels so weird because it doesn't really come up. I mean, I guess it's setting up for the future.
Ken Penders broke into the office and demanded it be there.
It's such a weird looking Mammoth Mogul silhouette. He's literally like Mario when he got hurt by an enemy or something. I didn't take a screenshot of it because I don't know why, but it is really funny, so I think I will.
Look, maybe that's just how he is, you know?
Wowie zowie.
Yeah, I mean,
I just wanted to say, because I remember, like, I knew about the Amy thing of, like, oh, she, like, makes a wish to grow older or something, but I didn't know about the circumstances around it.
Yeah, she just deprives the Acorn mother from life, I guess.
That is a very strange choice to make.
I can't believe she damned the queen to waste her youth.
Well,
like, why would you write that?
She did an anti-Gruntilda. She stole the life force of an older woman.
That's really funny, dude. Yeah, I didn't really think about it, but like Elias's reaction was kind of underwhelming. Like, oh, you used it all. Now you can make a wish. Nah. Oh well. I'm like, okay, all right, fair enough.
It's always something, isn't it?
It's been one of those days.
Elias just gave up at this point. It's like,
He just gave up. That's what I thought.
Robotnik's back. My wife's gonna die now.
My wife! That's his mom! My wife is gonna die!
Look, let's be honest here. This is Archie Sonic. He probably got married at some point, and the secret wife's gonna show up.
I see what you mean.
Oh, boy.
Did I catch on to something? Is this something that's actually gonna happen?
We'll find out in the adventure spin-off.
Sally, this is your stepsister. You never knew about her. She's my wife. My wife. She's all into this Robotnik stuff.
Cool wife.
Anyway, I can't say anything, so let's go to issue 80.
Good call.
Our excuse for Amy's design change, as we were saying before, is that she held onto the ring that I thought was a crystal ball on which to be older. Nate Morgan says she gets to come on the trip because he wants the opportunity to examine her before she happens to change back. I don't understand, but okay. Sally writes, "I love you 5 ever" on her mom's containment tube. The gang flies for several hours and eventually find a mountain, and under it is the city of the Ancients, also known as Station Square, I guess. Knuckles, in his side story, he arrives at Haven to see Dad. The Echidna they see video footage of Eggman attacking and are discussing whether to rebuild now or just go after him. And Knuckles gets upset with their bullshit and leaves to go after Dr. Robotnik. Meanwhile, the Chaotix and what's her name? Pink Echidna.
Julie Sue. I didn't know if you were actually waiting for...
I forgot. They show up at the hole where the Chaos Chamber was when suddenly Espio is captured by the Lion Men. And then we get Big the Cat side story where he is sleeping, and then Froggy senses that something is terribly wrong and jolts awake. He is thirsty and drinks some water, but the water is actually chaos. And so he sprouts a tail. Gamma appears and grabs Froggy. Big awakes and attacks Gamma, but his punch is not strong enough. And then Gamma gets away, and then Big begins his journey. I distinctly remember, maybe I'm gaslighting myself, but there's an Archie comic panel, like way later on, where Big punches something and it actually does something. So I read this, and I'm like, this is bullshit.
No,
he should be in pieces.
Listen, this is one of those instances of a unstoppable force versus an immovable force.
So, I know when Dorko read this issue because there was a large, massive explosion up to my east. Just because of the pure excitement. Like, I was just driving home and I suddenly saw this massive explosion. And I'm like, oh, Dorko got to the big part.
I do the art. Okay, this cover has some funny like expressions. Big and a Froggy looking terrified with a very devious looking Eggman. Real
quick, since we're on this topic, let me find the panel. I got an image for once, and this is just a very powerful panel. If it loads.
There we go. Yeah, dude, okay, I have that exact same screenshot. I've taken this same screenshot every time I've read this comic. I have like 8 instances of this single panel.
Look at that hand.
Fucking hyper-realistic hand.
Have you ever been so mad your hand turns into a human hand?
This reminds me of like a Smiling Friends bit where he just whips out his cat paw and it like turns into a human hand to show how angry he is.
So we already mentioned that the ancient city is Station Square. This kind of broke me a little bit because the whole time I'm going in, they're talking about this ancient city, and I'm like, oh, Mystic Ruins. That's how we get the Mystic Ruins in here. No, it's Station Square under a mountain with a fake sky.
Yes. So there's quite a bit to unpack here. So they do. Okay. There is, in the previous issue, Eggman mentions that something was, or in the broadcast that was hijacked, Eggman mentions the Mystic Ruins, and so it is implied that the mysterious cat country, which makes sense because Big lives there in the game, is in the Mystic Ruins. So the Mystic Ruins are near Station Square, but not. It is not the City of Ancients. It's 2 different places.
You can't stop here. This is cat country.
Yeah, we can't stop here.
Couldn't they have, like, not that it matters, but couldn't they just have, like, put Station Square, like, an island instead of trying to hide underground with, like, a fake sky?
If it was somebody else writing it, maybe. I don't know. Like, it was so weird. I've always felt like this was, like, one of my, like, least favorite bits of the, like, how come they didn't know? Like, okay, so first off, it's supposed to be long lost, but Nate Morgan somehow discovered it. Okay, fine, whatever. We know that he was traveling for a really long time, but like, I don't like it. It's like, how do you make them long lost and not affected by like all the other plot holes of this franchise where it's like they set up the world to be pretty much taken over 100% by Robotnik at some point. So I don't know. Like, I don't like it, but I could never think of like, well, how would I have done it? It's like you say an island, but it's like, and would an island really have remained undetected by Robotnik?
Probably not.
Probably not.
They're in the anti-Robotnik shield.
I actually thought the way they did this was perfectly fine, but
really?
Yeah, it was fine. That's why I said it didn't really matter. I was just curious.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, this is one of those points of contention for me. It's not a big deal. I just thought it was like, okay,
so what
whatever.
were you saying earlier? Were you saying that Station Square is not the City of the Ancients? Because I think it is.
It is.
Oh, okay.
No, it is. No, I thought the City of Ancients was going to be Mystic
Right,
Ruins.
I understood that. I guess I didn't understand what MegaFire was saying earlier.
I was saying that Mysterious Cat Country is in the Mystic Ruins. Mystic Ruins is not the City of Ancients. City of Ancients is separate from the Mystic Ruins. Ergo, they're sticking to like how the game was set up. That's what I was trying to say.
But I thought it was kind of funny because when I was like reading through the Thanks Ken Pender's blog, like they had the same experience where like oh, they're talking about an ancient city, it's probably the Mystic Ruins, but then the reveal happens. They're like, oh, it's the Station Square. Oh shit.
See, it's strange because in the very beginning of the last issue, what we interpret or what they intercept from Robotnik is people talking about the ancient or the Mystic Ruins, and then Nate Morgan for some reason says Robotnik must have discovered the hidden city of the ancients. So that was the weird. Like, I think they had a writing inconsistency. Like, I think they needed to figure out a way to like point out the city of the ancients, but Robotnik never mentions it. He only mentions the Mystic Ruins. And then to follow the consistency of like, well, Robotnik didn't discover the hidden city of the ancients. He discovered the chamber where chaos is, which is in the Mystic Ruins, which is where the Cat Country is. But for some reason, Nate Morgan brings up the hidden city of the ancients.
I really glossed over that.
I didn't notice that until you just said what you did. Because I was like, I didn't think about it. Like, why did Nate Morgan bring up the hidden city of the ancients? I was like, oh, it must have been because that's what the plot said, right? But like, no, reading back on it right now, like I'm looking, this is verbatim what it says. The first wave Squawk has arrived, Squawk at the Mystic Ruins, and the Squawk evacuation proceeds without Squawk delay, Your Excellency. That's all that we see in those two panels. And then he talks to Sonic, and Sonic runs, finds the king, and then they're like, we intercepted something, and Nate Morgan starts to talk about a bunch of stuff. Robotnik and his Shadowbots must have discovered the hidden city of the ancients. So, like, he kind of pulled that out of nowhere. Unless it would have made sense that the hidden city of the ancients was in the Mystic Ruins. But that's not what they show in the comic, because it's not. It might be near it, but it's not. Maybe that's what it's supposed to be, is like that Mystic Ruins and Station Square are really close to each other.
I mean, maybe. In the game, they're connected by train, but I don't know.
That's right, yeah. Anyway, that was my little, like, nerd out for a second. Well, I mean, you guys were confused, and I was confused, too, so everybody was confused.
I wasn't sure if that was confusion or just subverted expectation. Where, like, you have expectation because of your knowledge of the game, and then you're like, oh, wait, they're doing something different.
For me, it's less confusion and more that I just forget shit too much. So.
Anyway.
Any thoughts on... Was this 80 or 81 we just did?
It was 80.
80.
I really like the art for this, the Station Square reveal.
This art grew on me this session. I like it.
The Station Square like reveal was really cool. Kind of reminded me of like funny enough, it kind of reminded me of like Kingdom Hearts. I don't know, like one of those like planet overviews, like when you're on the map.
Yeah. Also, I don't have a screenshot on hand, but I like the grumpy froggy on top of the sleeping bag.
Oh yeah, my note on this is the froggy mood board.
Or footage of Froggy actually angry.
I love all these froggy faces.
And he's like freaking out in the next few panels. I love this.
I love this. This one panel of how Knuckles points out what we talked about last time, where it's like, damn, if only they listened to Sally, then none of this would have happened. And it's just like, huh? Yeah, that's what we said. That's what we said.
Wasn't there a past issue where Knuckles is like in this moral dilemma where he has to pick between this and Sally? Because I think he's going to make up his mind.
That's exactly what it was. Yeah, that's exactly what he was pointing out in these panels is that issue from last time.
Yeah.
I do like this exchange between the Brotherhood and Knuckles where he like they all say a bunch of you know, Ken Pender's like wall of text, and then Knuckles just ends the conversation with "Who cares?"
Who cares? All that whole spin-off could have been avoided with "Who cares?"
My notes say in brackets, because whenever I take a screenshot, I name the screenshot and then I put it in brackets in my notes, and it just says "Who cares?" And then my note for that is "Who cares?" This whole segment sucks. Like, I don't care about what the Brotherhood has to say. None of this matters. It doesn't matter.
I could have.
No, we haven't gotten to that.
I wish Knuckles did this more often.
Yet.
I wish Knuckles more often was just like, forget you guys, I'm gonna do my thing.
Exactly.
Like, if only he did this
love
sooner.
This. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The screenshot of the linemen. We're gonna get into 81 where the linemen take over and turn everybody else into linemen.
I like this. My only note for this one is like, damn, this looks like the beginning of a bad porno.
The joke is that there's a Mega Man cartoon episode where that actually happens. But anyways.
Right.
Mega Man, you say, huh?
Yeah. That thing we're gonna warn about.
It wouldn't have been messed up if the Sonic Mega Man crossover, the villains were the Lion.
The Lion.
So I would have been all for it.
Oh man.
I need to see the canonical version of the Lion Men.
81, are you ready?
Yeah. Well, I have one more screenshot. Cool Beans 19. Yep. This definitely is the 2000s.
Cool beans.
Cool
In the
beans.
modern times, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, 81. The gang arrives at the city and they tour around and have fun. That's the summary. Nothing, as far as I remember, nothing really important happened. I guess that's why I didn't write it down. It's just Sonic playing songs for the ladies. Amy finds the mole and just does some stuff like that. So I guess I'm just going to move on. The Knuckles side story. Eggman feeds Chaos some Emerald Flakes and is frustrated to find he won't complete his transformation right away. Probably because of cavern rocks or whatever mixed into the Emerald Shards. So he sends his E-Series robots to retrieve the other shards. Why did he break it in the first place? Knuckles looks for Egg. He can carry the whole Master Emerald. He does it in Sonic 3. Anyways. Knuckles looks for Eggman. He collects some emerald shards, but he sees a fiery pirate ship taken to the shore in the distance, and then the pirates escort their captives, the Chaotix and Julie Sue, to their queen, who plans to punish the gang. And then a little Amy side story where Amy meets the green bird from the game Sonic Adventure, who's being shot with lasers, and then Zero attacks, and the two start making their escape. But it turns out Comic Universe Amy is actually really strong, so she decides to take a swing at Zero and killing him instantly. However, two more Zeros show up and kidnap her. The end.
I think that was an apt summary. It really is just exposition on Station Square, like the first half of this.
So in the first spread that you see,
The coolest kids in school.
one of the Station Square inhabitants is just Jughead from Archie.
Oh, yeah, he is. I see it.
I'm cooking this chicken. This chicken better not be raw. And then it's just this image of Big.
Dude, this shit goes so hard. They made this so hard. These are the coolest kids in school in the yearbook. It's just Sonic, Knuckles, and Big the Cat. Like, wow. Somebody on the team, they knew. They were ahead of their time.
It's really
Darko
funny to
works
see
on
someone
this.
try so hard to make Big the Cat look cool. I love it.
It's awesome. It's so cool. This is such a
What?
cool spread.
I want to see an alternate universe where Big the Cat just has Shadow's personality. Like, that design always has his arms crossed, like, whoa, Maria!
He has his backstory too.
I promise you revenge.
Oh,
I'm
man.
Big the Cat! This is who I am! Kills Eggman.
Karate chops. All right. If any
It broke my
Sonic-
heart to see Froggy get shot in the arc.
Foggy. Sayonara, Sonic.
I lost my train of thought.
Oh, God. That would mean Mephiles would be big, too.
It's him, the Iblis Trigger.
Can you imagine fucking Dan Green's voice coming out of Big the Cat?
No, I can't. I can't.
No, it's not Dan Green. It's just what's his name doing the Duke Nukem voice.
Oh, you're right.
I'm your shadow, Big. I got balls of steel. Whoever you are, I'm gonna beat you.
I'm here to chew gum and trigger some Iblis, and I'm all out of gum.
It just plays the Duke Nukem theme anytime he's on screen.
Oh my god! Wait, the scene where Shadow kicks Silver in the back of the head, except it's Big the Cat. He just does like a back, like he just whips his fist at him from behind.
I was thinking more Bowser forward smash, where he does the drop kick.
Okay, that's even better. I was just thinking of a lariat.
Hey, Sega, if you're listening to us, you can steal this idea. You can go back and redo this.
No, listen, if any Sonic modders are out there, you know what you have to do. Replace Shadow in every instance with Big the Cat. But especially in Sonic Adventure 2, so we can see him reacting to Maria's death inside of his tube.
But he's so big, he's just squished inside of it. He's like freaking Augustus and Willy Wonka.
Stupid. Some really good Eggman faces throughout this comic. We get introduced to the E-Series robots, which is pretty neat. I like seeing Knuckles doing like not treasure hunting, but like exploring ruins. I don't know, something about it is like really nice. I like that. I like the little scenes where he's searching for the emeralds in the ruins. It's kind of funny that it's like he happened to be in the place where he hears the cat people coming back with his friends, but whatever. I'll excuse it. I have one thing. Excuse me for this, but Harvek isn't this the cat slaver from Clone Wars? The Cat Queen. Isn't this? Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Okay, I thought it was like crazy, but that's it. I won't go any more into it.
You guys basically covered everything. I do like how the Knuckles stories is basically like Knuckles is there for a second, just actually doing something. Meanwhile, everyone else is just captured. We don't know what to do with the extra characters in this. I know! Let's make them fight the Lion Men!
Yeah.
It's like the same thing over and over with the Knuckles Ken Bender stuff. Just, oh my God.
My friends are captured. They can't do anything.
Knuckles is lost and talking to himself.
Yeah, he's back, mate. We are so back. Knuckles is talking to himself. His friends are captured. Everybody is out of their lanes. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, this is happening.
I know you guys mentioned you like the art. There's one that kind of makes me feel weird knowing the context of the character. I have a very specific. There it is. I don't know how I felt about Amy having honka-donka badonkas.
Well, she got older. Yeah, I said I like the art of the particular artist. This one was not on my on the top 10.
My chest is my power.
I think this is the same artist that did a lot of the flashback stories, because her face is drawn really similar to Bernie's, Sonic's mom. In those
Sonic's
stories,
mom.
Bernie Sanders.
Why do we keep giving boobs to the little animals?
They just want to they just want the animals to be boobed up. It's the 1990s.
I'm terrified to see what they do with Rouge.
I'm excited to see what they do with Rouge.
I am is terrified.
I don't remember what Rouge. I want to say that because I don't remember, it's probably not as bad, surprisingly, as this. But I my memory is failing at all times.
I mean, I don't even know if it would be that striking. I mean, like, like the way they've drawn Amy here and Sally and Bunny in the past. It was just kind of Rouge before Rouge in some sense. I don't know.
You're right. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it also it varies from artist to artist.
Well, yeah, of course.
Oh no, I know you know, but I'm just kind of as a point. It's like I don't know what artists are going to be around when Rouge appears. I don't remember.
She shows up and actually she's just like a flat cartoon character or something.
She's flat chested.
She shows Rouge's first appearance as drawn by Ken Penders.
No cleavage.
Did you vomit in your mouth a little bit?
I can't remember if he ever drew her, and like the thought, it's really weird though. Like when you look at some of the comics that he's drawn, I've made this comment before. It's like, oh, Ken Penders drew this. Like you think about the stuff that he's drawn today, and you think about this, and you're like, this. I mean, this isn't great, but it's like nowhere near that. Like, He does weird things with people's limbs, but, like, that's about as bad, I think, as I would say some bad
Yeah,
faces.
back then it wasn't as bad, but then he continued to mutate.
I've always heard, just keep practicing until you make your craft better. But somehow, he's working in reverse.
Disclaimer, this is parody. We don't mean anything we say. Do not sue us.
Ken Penders, if you're listening...
Fuck you.
This is parody.
No. Come talk to us.
No, I'm not. No.
No, you can't talk to us.
Sorry, but
I'm not signing up for that.
Would any of you, if you had the chance to?
Nah, I got nothing to say though.
How are you, MG?
No.
All right. Okay.
No, I don't think I'd have anything to say, What do I say after seeing The Adventures of Julie Sue?
Why? I mean, that'd be the first thing on my mind.
But why, though?
Why did this happen? Why did you write it like this?
It's satirical. Everything we're saying is parody.
This is
Do not
parody.
sue
This
us.
is parody. Yeah. Joke.
82. Jokes. 82.
82. The number 82. The big one before the big Sonic adventure.
But this one is also kind of a big one because Sonic takes a stroll around the Rady City and then finds chaos causing trouble, and then we have officially set foot into Sonic Adventure territory as the two get into the boss fight, and then Sonic calls him a big drip as he escapes into the sewer. And that's it for that part. Knuckles' story. Knuckles bumps into a spirit that we know is Tikal, who is a red Echidna, as we all remember. She vomits some exposition where an Echidna colony builds civilization, life goes on, and then Tikal meets Chaos in the Chow. Later on, the Echidnas get greedy, and we witness that part where they get owned by Chaos. And then the flashback ends with Tikal explaining that she and the Chow proceeded to imprison Chaos into the Black Emerald as he too had grown corrupt after defending the Chow for so long, blah blah blah. Meanwhile, the Easter's robots return home, and all of them had the wrong amphibian except Gamma. Eggman extracts the eaten piece of Chaos from Froggy as he drank the water that he thought was water but was actually Chaos from before to revive the beast, but then Eggman commands Chaos to go find the remaining Chaos Emeralds. Elsewhere, Queen Fairy sees the Chaotix and Pink Knuckles as a threat. Vector almost has the word Krat, but then Locke shows up to confront the Queen. And then we get a Gamma short story. It starts off as the opening of Gamma's story from the game, but instead of dolls, he blows up what seems to be killer robots of Sonic and his friends. And then impressed with Gamma, Eggman then orders the robot to go get Froggy. That happens, and then after that mission, we get the scene where Gamma meets Amy in the prison. Our narrator continues to convey Gamma's feelings of humanity. I didn't specify in the summary that throughout the narrator steps in a lot to try to paraphrase what he's going through in the course of the story, and that he's a robot on the outside, but inside he's a human being. So he breaks Amy free, but instead of pushing the button, he does it the cool way, where he like lasers around the gate and then just pulls the bars out. And that's the end.
We're basically just watching a Sonic Adventure Let's Play at this point.
Yeah.
It does kind of turn into that quite a bit.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot more he said the thing, because there's Big Drip, and then there's Eggman said the thing at the start of the game, word for word.
Yep.
Pretty much.
And then there's, there he is! Right there!
I don't have a lot to say about the, like, Sonic and Gamma part. I do like the narrator, actually. I think the way they did the narrator was pretty nice. Kind of adds, like, you didn't need it in the game because it kind of all comes to a head later on. And surprisingly, they conveyed a lot of emotion in an emotionless, expressionless robot in the game. But with the narrator, I think it was nice. I don't think it like detracted from the character too much, especially in relationship to the game. I really liked the scene where he's destroying all the dummies of Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails. That was pretty fun. I really liked some of the art was really cool. This is a funny one. The cover is really cool. I think it's cool, but Sonic's mouth is really funny in it.
Yeah.
This panel and this page and these 2 pages, the art is cool as hell. I love the action art in this issue.
I do really like the art, especially with the Sonic story.
Like, it's just sick. I thought it was cool as hell. Eggman's final, I guess first and final appearance in this intro segment. Nothing personnel, kid. I love the face that he has on. Everything is great. I have nothing bad to really say about the first story. I like the Gamma story. I do. I really think it's neat. It's nice to see what happens. I love him just breaking the gate instead of like in the game he just presses a button and it opens up. He just tears it out to save Amy and the bird.
It's like he snapped and he just wants to be human, so he's just like, fuck this.
Yeah.
MegaFire, I like how you're just posting the whole comic at this point.
I mean, I really did post the first.
Well,
bit.
they nailed it. I thought they nailed the art. So
yeah, they nailed it. I like this little Shadow Sonic. Obviously, it's supposed to be Mecha Sonic. That's what it was in the game because it's like the test tubes.
I haven't been made yet.
No, Mecha Sonic has been.
I'm doing Shadow.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's the Shadow Hedgehog, Excuse me. My name's Big the Cat.
Now, I think the big point of conversation is the Knuckles lore. And Ken Penders having to figure out from his own mess how to make it line up with the story of the games. I'm just curious to hear what you guys thought of all of that, like that whole segment.
The Gamma thing?
No, the Knuckles stuff. The Knuckles
stuff, right. Sorry.
Lore.
I mean, something that just kind of struck me is that, I didn't realize how simple it actually was to just be like, oh, it's just another tribe. Just another Echidna tribe. That's all there is to it. And, probably the biggest thing they had to write around and explain, really, was stuff with the whole... with the Master Emerald, there's a lot with that since the comic never properly established the Master Emerald to begin with. And then, therefore, they also couldn't do the plot of Chaos being sealed in the Master Emerald because there wasn't a Master Emerald. So they were like, oh, in the comic, he's sealed in a different emerald. And blah, blah, blah.
You're sealed into this one?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's sealed in my OC, the Black Emerald.
Yeah, in our comics, what we have sealed in our emerald is a weird elephant guy.
Oh, that's really funny.
I'm curious to see how Fleetway handles this in the future.
Apparently,
that's right. I did say we would.
Does have a Sonic Adventure thing, but I know nothing about it.
All I know is that for some reason we get to see Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, Robotnik in Sonic Adventure Eggman's outfit.
That's sick. That's awesome. Hold on. I know nothing about Fleetway except for like screenshots of panels posted here and there. So I am kind of interested to get to that at some point.
Also, I do want to say before I forget, I hate how Tikal just looks like another generic Echidna. But then in the flashback, she has her design.
Yeah.
Which
It doesn't make sense.
apparently what the logic is that the actual game design is what she looked like when she was younger. And when she grows up, she looks like generic Pender's Echidna woman. It sucks. That just sucks.
It's so silly.
It's pretty bullshit. Thanks. Oh man,
What
you spoiled
is
me.
robotic?
I can't believe you spoiled me on. This will not be in the show notes, but man, that looks so fucking.
We're probably
good,
not
actually.
gonna be. We're not gonna be there for a couple decades. Let's be honest.
Hey man, we're really blasting through these comics. You know, we're almost. No, we're not.
No,
But
we're not.
we're like almost a quarter of the way through.
Oh boy.
It's almost a quarter of the way there.
It's all uphill at some point in a little bit.
It's okay. We still have to do the golden age after decade.
I you know what? Who knows? Maybe some of you guys will like Sonic School Buzz. I'm not gonna say anything else.
I really am wondering, like, how long are we gonna keep doing this? Like, are we even gonna survive to Ian Flynn?
We will. Come on. If we live through all of this, literally, like, okay, there is some, like, highlights to the fact that, you know, Ken Penders is gonna be gone soon.
Ian Flynn at the end
That's
of
a
the
really
tunnel.
funny sentence.
This is that's a parody. Don't sue us.
No, it's not even any. He will, like, by literally, he will, like, this is just a matter of fact. He will not be on the writing team, like, soon.
Whoever attempts to kill Ken Penders in the next 5 seconds, it wasn't us, we swear.
Oh man.
Please stop joking. The Ken Penders assassins are coming after me now.
Oh no.
You know how the Nintendos have ninjas?
Oh, you're right.
Ken Penders.
Well, Ken Penders has the Echidnas.
Yeah.
That's fine. All they do is watch you through a monitor.
and do 20-minute long expositions.
They're
have
gonna talk you to death.
He has the Echidnas, but there's like an apostrophe somewhere in there.
You're right.
One thing I wanted to say about the Gamma story, though, is that Beta is missing.
Yeah.
I don't remember if he comes back. Like, it's not that I don't remember. He's just missing from this story.
Well, something unfortunate that I read, apparently, is that Gamma's just kind of gone from the comic after this for like a very long time, and that's just kind of disappointing. But
well, wait, am I missing something? He blows up.
And then Gamma lived
well, I don't
happily
think they
ever
even
after.
show that in the comic. Do they?
Well, no, because, like, the idea is that you're supposed to... Okay, you're right. So let me explain something. I get kind of moving ahead into the super special, but I guess this kind of is applicable to a lot of the game tie-ins happening from now on. They expect you to go play the games. They aren't gonna... This is probably the most in-depth of a crossover we get, and probably the last time. Because of all the aforementioned plot jankiness. Because of the original story that they have and the story of the games being inconsistent. And just them not having the information to always do it. So
they're basically assuming the games are canon.
They are trying to canonize as many of the games as they can, and that's I think, I don't know if that's a stipulation or not, but they don't try to miss any of the games. I think, yeah, I believe that's the thing, because they even adapted like Sonic the Hedgehog for the Game Gear, and if you remember, with Amy getting captured by Metal Sonic but it was just done in a weirder, their own original way. And then this is the last time that we're gonna get a full crossover game to comic. You'll know what that means when we get to Sonic Adventure 2.
Yeah, I'm curious about that.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
I guess
that-
it makes sense to be like, "Oh, pick up the game," but like from the comic perspective, it is kind of like you spend all this time introducing a character and be like, "Here's his deal," and then he's just vanishes. Like, there's no comic resolution. And I don't know.
not for a while.
It's definitely awkward. That's for sure.
Yeah, I have my complaints, but I'm
There-
kind of saving it for my final thoughts. So.
I would agree with you if I didn't know the future. In the moment that we are in, I agree with you. But because I know what happens later, I kind of like this. I do like the fact that it's left ambiguous. Unfortunately, it would have been better if they utilized that ambiguity sooner. But
Right.
c'est la vie, you know? Hindsight's a bitch. So, since we've already been talking about it, I think we should just get into the super special.
Let's wrap this up, boys. Coming on the butt, boys. I'm done here. The special... The freedom fighters meet the mayor. They find that Amy never returned to her hotel room, and Sonic suspects that this and the Chaos situation are connected to Dr. Eggman. The gang splits off to look for Amy. Nate and Sally research some books on Chaos to conclude that Eggman is plotting to bring Chaos to his final form and take over the world. Sonic and Tails arrive on a plane to the forest in the Mystic Ruins where they meet Knuckles. Chaos attacks. What was just linked into the chat? Who is she calling? Good question. Chaos attacks, and as a fight breaks out, Tails spots some Master Emerald pieces, grabs them, but inconveniently trips over his own feet and then drops them so that Eggman can snatch them right up. Chaos is fed the emeralds and becomes a fish from the game. So the fight continues. Tails covers them in sand with his wind powers, and Sonic heats up the glass with his super speed to trap Chaos in a glass ball prison, but to no avail as he just breaks out. Meanwhile, Big travels on a small rover boat in the search of his friend when suddenly the egg carrier emerges from right under him. Sonic and Tails proceed by plane to chase after it. Meanwhile, Knuckles. Anyways, getting back to Sonic and Tails, they traverse the egg carrier until they bump into Eggman and Gamma. Sonic wins the fight, but Amy intervenes before he can finish him off. Big finds his buddy on the ship and discovers 2 Chaos Emeralds, which are immediately pilfered by Eggman, who feeds them to Chaos. Chaos also claims Froggy, who's still under possession. Big manages to fish Froggy back out, and then Sonic and Knuckles proceed to confront Chaos Form 6. I ran out of breath. I need some water. And so just like the boss fight, they use Eggman's ice robots against the monster to shatter him. And in the crossfire, the egg carrier loses altitude and starts plummeting, and everybody escapes. The end.
Remember how in all the previous issues I was praising the art? Nah.
Yeah.
Not here, though.
You got some examples for us? 'Cause I actually kind of forget.
Yeah,
save any
I do
screenshots.
have examples, but let me. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, let me just show you just down the line.
So who was Phone? She's on the phone in this cover, Amy Rose. And
dude, it's
we don't-
2000. It's cool. She's got a cellular phone, dude. It's radical. It's the Y2K. Why'd they give her a phone?
Dude,
Why
Seth
did they
off the
give her a
flip
phone?
phone. It's
Oh,
so
it's-
modern.
I didn't mean to link it again. This is really cool. I don't know why. This is so ominous. This image here. It's Eggman
I'll
just
be the
walking
judge of
away.
that.
Yeah, probably forgot to mention it, but I did think it was funny that when Eggman just smashed the emerald with a fucking hammer. Bonk.
Here's
I'm off to fight the Batman now.
here's some unfortunate faces. I don't know, like I don't love. There's way more like I could have literally taken a million like screenshots at the latter half with Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, but there's just a lot of faces. I think the most notorious like face that I remember taking, I've posted them in chat before too, like while I was reading them, but where is it? It's the Knuckles drowning one.
The classic Knuckles drowning.
Yeah, the classic Knuckles drowning. And
It
the
keeps
origin,
happening to him. It keeps happening.
The origin of magnets. I remember posting this, and then the magnets thing started happening. Yeah, Mr. President's weird magnet bullshit about Knuckles.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
What? What is the magnets bit?
Who can say?
Great question.
One thing I noticed, and I'm sure you guys did too, I like how Tails just completely upgrades the tornado mid-flight to the egg carrier.
He was busy, dude.
It goes from like the classic red plane to the new blue one in like a panel.
Yeah, I don't know.
No one mentions it.
They don't think about it. It's the X tornado, yeah, because it does the transformation right after as well. I'm a sucker for a lot of the action shots in this one, though. Like, I love seeing Knuckles, Tails, and Sonic. I love it. I don't know. Like, it's so fun to see them fighting together.
I like a lot of the art in this issue.
Yeah, I like this panel with Chaos throwing hands.
I don't like. There are a lot of funny images. So I do overall like. I do overall like it. I was just mainly overemphasizing because it's fun, but just to poke fun. But the action shots are great. I love them in this one. We get lots of Big the Cat. We have a very unique way of Eggman being drawn that I quite like. He has like this more rounded, almost. You know what it reminds me of? Sonic OVA. Kind of.
Sometimes he just has that roundness to him.
I do appreciate that we got like a cinematic depiction of Big fishing in chaos.
Yeah.
That's right.
I gotta kill Chaos.
I'm gonna kill Chaos.
Oh, Chaos Blast.
I just like that he joins into the fight instead of being like basically like corralled away by Sonic. He's just kind of there. Nobody quite understands why or what he's doing, but it's great. I think there's even a panel where it's like, Froggy, come back, Froggy! And then Sonic just appears and he's just like, say, who the heck is this cat and what's he doing here? And that's it. That's like the most interaction they get before Big catches Froggy.
My favorite part was like Sonic looking for the plane and then he sees Big took it. That's probably my favorite adaptation choice of this.
It's so good.
That cat took my plane.
Yeah, this rocked. Like, I loved this adaptation. I think this was solid. I really enjoyed a lot of what was happening.
Yep.
Which one of these issues was it where we were complaining about, like, they turned the Chaos Emeralds into some kind of word salad and they can't come up with this? Is it the Master Emerald, the Power Emerald, the Chaos Emerald? Was it this one, or did we pass that?
I have a screenshot of every instance that they're used incorrectly. Well, almost. But it was throughout the last few issues. It's not this one. I think this one they just call it the chunks of the Master Emerald, and then.
Oh wait, you mean this last special specifically? Because even they get it mixed up in this.
Mm.
Do they?
Yeah, and MG was even saying it earlier, right?
Oh, powered by the Super Emerald. Yeah. So the colored emeralds they're calling Super Emeralds, and then there's chunks of the Master Emerald.
I feel like they even like got mixed up their own plot points of like. Oh, Chaos wants these. Oh, actually, he wants these and stuff. Like, what? Can you get your story straight?
He wants all of them.
What emeralds does Chaos want? Not the Chaos Emerald.
Anything but those.
Have to break the emerald into little tiny flakes and then feed it to Chaos.
Just like a little fish.
Maybe he's just a really hungry water boy.
Because Sonic Adventure does kind of like fully set in stone what the Chaos Emeralds are and the Master Emerald is. Like, I mean, it was there before, but it really, like, sets it in stone in this.
Yeah.
I wonder how long it'll take the comic to get it straight.
To be clear, by the way, we aren't done with Sonic Adventure. I didn't include it in this batch, but the next issue, a few more issues to wrap up Sonic Adventure. It'll be the I figured I was like this is, you know, how when you played the game, this is how it ends. And then you get final story when you beat all the routes. So I thought, you know, final story will be the next, how we kick off the next batch. So spoilers, not spoilers. The next batch is the final chapter. Like the
So just so I'm clear, they don't get into the Gamma stuff and how that ends later in the final story.
It ends later, way
skipped.
later, and it doesn't even end the final story. It's like something that comes back way down the line. Yeah, that's I don't want to, like, you know, I'm not gonna hide it because there's nothing to hide. I'm not gonna tell you what happens, but like it's just don't expect Gamma.
I get you.
It's not the same ending as the game.
Yeah, just asking now when it's time to articulate my final thoughts. So I have some comments on that.
Sure.
Well, so before I forget, I just want to say I thought it was kind of funny with the chaos fight early on, where, you know, it's Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and like there's just something really funny to me about how Eggman's just kind of standing there and like pointing and like, chaos, do the thing, and it's like there's something about it that's like when you're thinking of the game, like, yeah, but it's kind of weird in this comic because it almost like harkens back to like very early Archie of like goofy Robotnik standing around like, oh, the hedgehog.
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't for the fact that this is a Sonic Adventure adaptation, I feel like I'd be scratching my head more. I'm like, why is he just standing there? Like, why is he not like, I don't know, like
punching him,
like ordering like a bunch of shadow bots to kill people or something? Like, what's happening?
He does fight a lot. Well, like in Sonic Adventure, he gets in his little egg mobile and he fires the ice bombs. I just love that we get, no way, I can't believe this.
Yeah, of course you have the Eggman lines in there.
We got all the good Eggman. I mean, like, the face is just what does it for me. You know, it's like, I love these faces, dude. It's so good. Like, they really do remind me of, like, the OVA is the best way. Like, even with him standing around and just yelling out things, it kind of reminds me of that too. It's just very good faces. It's just great expressions all around.
I almost forgot something I wanted to post, which is I just like the way this looks, because to me, like, it kind of looks like, oh, you forgot the landing gear, and so they crashed and died. But what a bold choice.
Wait, it does look like that. Why did I have to be right? It's been one of those days.
And there's only one person that can save the day now that Sonic's dead. And that's Big the Cat, baby! Well, I'm gonna kick Chaos's ass. Chaos control.
Sonic, or Knuckles, kind of looks like one of those wind hounds with the long noses. And I do it for you. You know, one of those dogs, Borzois.
No.
Yeah, he got that elongated snout.
Thanks for watching, guys. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe.
I posted one of those long-nosed dogs.
Why are these dogs so long?
Why is Knuckles so long? You know what these Eggman faces remind me of? What's that guy's name that does like the Sonic dub in like real time? The Albert or Alfred? Albert, right? Alfred, yeah. It reminds me of their impressions of Robotnik for some reason. Like, I look at these faces and I just think of their performance.
Who posted my nudes on the ancient civilization?
Who posted my nudes in the ancient cities blog? There's also, I just wanted to add this one picture of Big the Cat that I thought was really funny, where he just has a thought bubble that just says chaos.
See, I told you he was going to be the next big thing, man.
They make Big the Cat. I think he shines in this comic. Really, like I genuinely do. Like these issues are great. The way they introduced him with a fight, with a little tussle, with his like stone cold like dedication to go find his little buddy. I love it. I love this. I love the Big the Cat. I've always been a Big the Cat fan, but I don't know if it was because the game's the comics, and that's something I'll never really know, you know?
He's a good guy.
For context, for people that are like older than, I don't know, that are I mean, younger than maybe like 18 or 17 years old, Big the Cat was like a hot topic of like disdain in the communities because of a variety of stupid reasons. I know people in this group never quite felt that way, at least not number one fan of Big the Cat. Dorko, for you?
We stand Big the Cat in this household.
I mean,
That's right. We've
from a
always
basic
protect him.
point of view, I can understand why people didn't like the character, but it was kind of annoying, like just how it felt over exaggerated hatred of the character. We're like, he's fine. don't hate him. Leave him be.
He's great. He punches robots and doesn't afraid of nothing.
I kneel for you, King.
I knew. You have my quills.
You have my blade. You have my bow. You have my axe. Okay, we're going to Mordor.
Big the Cat just needs to take over the place of many different characters and throughout different media. Oh boy, we're okay. Is that sorry? I guess closing thoughts for everybody.
One more. Big the Cat, but John Wick.
I'm trying to like remember a line from John Wick that Big would like be funny, and he doesn't really talk a lot.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm back. Oh, I'm thinking I'm back.
He's so back.
Oh.
So my closing thoughts. Knowing that the Gamma stuff gets wrapped up later is not as bad, but they should have done it while they're in the middle of the adventure spin-off. So my complaints about that, the weird Emerald nonsense, then them not knowing how to notate it, and other nitpicks. But other than that, I thought the session was pretty good. I had fun with it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of difficult because it's like I feel like I need to read the full thing for like finished thoughts, but like I've really come to realize how awkward this is to like suddenly have a Sonic Adventure adaptation during this comic, and it's like given the circumstances, they actually did a pretty fine job. I do think it's awkward, but also at the same time, because it's Sonic Adventure, it's also simultaneously some of the most fun I've had reading this comic. Even sometimes the Pendra stuff is a bit slightly more tolerable, but not any of the Echidna stuff, though, obviously. I mean, Locke shows up, 0 out of 10. My ideal version of Sonic Adventure does not have Locke in it.
I guess we could say for final thoughts, tune in next time when we look at the finale.
Yeah. I have, so I know I mentioned in the beginning that I had some feelings on this one that were maybe not as positive as previous instances. My feelings on this comic are, I enjoy it, of course. I like this. I like moments in this quite a bit. I think that they did a good adaptation for what resources they had on hand, and I came to appreciate it more as I went on, like got older. I think I really didn't like it when I was younger. When I read it originally, I was really just like, why not just the game? Why do they have to add all this stuff? And I kind of, like throughout the time, like, yeah, I kind of eased off on that. But then now I'm coming back to it, and I'm like, kind of what Dorko said. It's like, they did a good job. I wish they didn't add all this stuff. One of my frustrations that has kind of persisted throughout was like, The Chaotix getting kidnapped was unnecessary. The Chaotix being in the comic at all was unnecessary. All the freedom fighters being there was unnecessary. Like,
yeah.
it was like, I don't mind Sally being there as sort of like this representative for Acorn and stuff, but like they could have left partway through. Like, or something could have happened. Like, this could have been something that happened later after Sonic kind of showed himself. You know, Nate, Tails, and Sonic really should have been the only people there. And then like Knuckles should have been there, and then Big should have been there, and then that's it. Like, I thought adding, like, they really ham-fisted the Chaotix in. Their shit does not matter at all. It really feels like they ham-fisted the rest of the group because they kind of, it's not as bad because they're just kind of not doing anything. So it's like, it's like harmless, but like also unnecessary. It's like a waste. So that's kind of how I feel about a lot of these elements, where it's like, when I was reading this, I was really against this because it was like that. Now I'm like, it's not bad, it's just unnecessary. It's just a waste of space. And it's like, I don't get it. Like, I still don't get why they did it like this. Like, I get you want to include your original characters in the crossover comic, but like, they didn't have to do it throughout the whole thing. They could have just done it for that beginning, like that prologue, like building up to it. And then, you know, he assigned it, like he already kind of set it up, right? Like in the beginning, you assigned it to Sonic and Nate, and Sonic would tell his best buddy Tails to fly him over there because he's got the plane. Nobody else had to have been involved in this. So, yeah, that and the word salad with all the emeralds and the notations, I didn't like that. So, my feelings are, I overall liked it, but there's a lot that I was like, I wish they didn't have these things.
I do feel like in my head, like a more ideal version of this would be like this is the comic. Like, if you're going to integrate Sonic Adventure, like, I think you should find a good way to be like, oh, like, there's also the freedom fighters and they get to do stuff. But then, yeah, when the end result is like awkward, like they just kind of disappear, and then it turns into just video game and into panels, which is, it's not bad, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's sad because they do things later in the comic that kind of, like in the next session probably, where it was like, it's like, why didn't you just do some of this stuff where you incorporate the characters more in this world?
Yeah, I guess it would have been more creative to play with their own craft more. I didn't think of it like that. I guess I'm too sour to the original content, I suppose.
I mean, that's completely fair. Like, I don't
because I joke about it a lot, but I don't hate all of it. So.
It's like, see, I like the original content, so my disappointment stems from a different point of like, you really. Yeah,
I was thinking too while we were discussing this. Like, there's a panel of Bonnie, and he was like, "Wait a minute, she didn't do anything."
Yeah,
what if she did something?
She Go-Go Gadget raised her legs up, and I don't know. Anton looked out and saw a thing, and that was it. And I'm like, cool.
They were sent to look for Amy, and then Sally discussed stuff with the man. And then it was just the excuse to have them sit out.
Yep.
I do like the session, but yeah, it could have been better. But for what it was
No, I like it. It's probably the most it's the biggest crossover we had since maybe Sonic 3 and Knuckles. And I think they did it way better than that. Because for different reasons. So yeah, I overall enjoyed it. Harv, any final thoughts?
Nope.
Okay.
Nothing.
Okay. Well, if we're wrapping up here, I may as well just say my plan for the next session is we're going to wrap up Sonic Adventure. So that includes us reading through Sonic issues 83 through 87. And then that will be the conclusion of this sort of arc. I might ask us to read one super special. To be completely honest, I don't remember what is in that super special. I have not read that one in a long time. I feel like it's one of those super specials where I like kind of gloss over every time. But I feel like every time that happens for me, you guys end up somewhat enjoying those. So I'm like, maybe you'll find some good in them, but I don't know. So likely what we're going to be doing is we're going to be reading those issues, and then Sonic Super Special number 14, Sonic Stew. And that will wrap up that like arc. On Thanks Ken Pender's blog, they named it the Robotnik's Return arc. And we'll be jumping into probably the stupidest arc of all time. The Chaos Knuckles arc.
So join us next time when I start my spin-off podcast. I'm reading Turok, so I don't have to read this.
That's all we got. That's all she wrote. That's all he wrote, Ken Pender.
Gotta bring that up somehow.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us. And have a good night. Or good morning. Or whatever you read this.
I can't believe this!
Away before I make mincemeat out of you.